a controversial highway in the mountains of Georgia. Deep in the rugged mountains of Georgia, where Europe meets Asia, a massive and highly controversial highway is under construction. This ambitious project is set to transform a key trade route between Russia and Armenia, bypassing an existing road that becomes nearly impassable in winter, leaving entire communities stranded for weeks. With towering bridges and a record-breaking tunnel, the engineering behind this project is undeniably impressive. On the surface, it promises economic growth, connectivity, and a solution to long-standing transportation issues. But beneath the surface lies a storm of controversy. For centuries, this region has remained relatively untouched, known for its peaceful landscapes, ancient towers, and rich cultural heritage. Now, some fear the highway will bring irreversible damage, endangering historical sites and disrupting the way of life for those who have called this valley home for generations. Others are questioning whether closer ties with Russia, especially in the wake of the invasion of Ukraine, are truly in Georgia's best interest. And then there's the elephant in the room, China, which is leading the construction efforts and has a significant financial stake in the project. So, is this highway a much-needed lifeline for Georgia's future? Or is it a geopolitical move that serves larger, more powerful nations at the expense of the local population? A strategic route with a complex past, the Kvisheti-Kobe Road will stretch 23 kilometers, including 6 bridges and 5 tunnels, one of which at 9 kilometers will be the longest tunnel in Georgia. But beyond the engineering marvel, this highway's location is what makes it truly significant. The current road, known historically as the Georgian Military Road, has been a vital corridor for centuries, used by traders, armies, and empires alike. Today, it serves as the only direct route connecting Georgia with Russia, country with which it shares a deeply complicated and often hostile history. In winter, this road is frequently buried under heavy snowfall, cut off by landslides, and completely shut down for weeks at a time. Between 2012 and 2016, the route was closed for over a month each year on average, leaving thousands of trucks and local residents stranded. With traffic already exceeding 3,000 vehicles per day, long queues and economic disruptions are common. The new highway is meant to change that, by avoiding the most dangerous sections, half of it running underground. At first glance, this seems like an obvious solution. But the concerns surrounding this project are far from simple. Engineering feats and unsettling risks. The scale of construction is staggering. The tunnel, completed in 2024, was dug using the largest tunnel boring machine TBM ever built for hard rock areas. A 4,000-ton giant capable of cutting through up to 426 meters of rock per month. It was one of the fastest TBM operations ever recorded, finishing ahead of schedule despite working through treacherous geological conditions, including volcanic ash deposits. The bridges along the route are equally ambitious. The Zakari Bridge, planned to stretch for 130 meters across a wide valley, will include an impressive 185-meter arch, making it one of the largest of its kind. Another bridge, nearly a kilometer long, will soar over the Waitaragvi River, leading directly into a tunnel. But for all the innovation, there are glaring concerns. Landslides, environmental destruction, and cultural heritage loss have cast a long shadow over the project. China Railway Tunnel Group, the Chinese company in charge of construction, has previously faced accusations of poor preparation. On another major Georgian infrastructure project, the East-West Highway, there, landslides disrupted construction, labor strikes erupted over poor working conditions, and fatal accidents occurred on site. With China controlling much of the public procurement process in Georgia, questions about accountability and the quality of work remain unanswered. What's in it for China? Georgia's involvement in China's Belt and Road Initiative is no secret. Positioned at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, Georgia is a key link in China's global infrastructure ambitions. The Belt and Road Initiative has seen China funnel hundreds of billions of dollars into infrastructure projects worldwide, often through loans that tie recipient nations into long-term economic dependencies. But while China is building the highway, it isn't exactly investing in Georgia. Instead, Chinese companies are winning government contracts, carrying out construction, and profiting from public funds. This raises serious questions about whether Georgia is truly benefiting, or simply serving as a stepping stone for China's geopolitical strategy. Georgia's government insists the project is necessary for economic growth and improved connectivity, but many locals feel they weren't properly informed about the potential consequences. Some residents claim they were unaware of the level of noise pollution, destruction, and disruption the highway would bring so close to their homes. The threat to cultural heritage. This valley is home to centuries-old towers, churches, and hidden archaeological sites, many of which were not fully documented before construction began. Initial environmental and cultural assessments identified only 30 for historical objects in the project area, but after further investigation following complaints and pressure from activists, that number ballooned to over 100. More than 100 of these sites are now considered to be within the highway's direct impact zone, with several at risk of permanent damage or destruction. Even with efforts to mitigate harm such as building protective barriers and monitoring vibrations, the fact remains that once a historical site is lost, it's gone forever. A road to a stronger Georgia, or a vulnerable one for many. The biggest concern isn't just the cultural or environmental impact, it's the political and security implications. Russia currently occupies 20% of Georgia's internationally recognized territory, following the Russo-Georgian War of 2008. Invasions and conflicts between the two nations stretch back centuries, with deep scars left behind. Now, with a faster, more efficient route connecting Georgia directly to Russia, many fear this project could weaken Georgia's strategic position rather than strengthen it. A highway built to boost trade could just as easily serve as a rapid access corridor for Russian military forces, given Russia's ongoing aggression in Ukraine. Some Georgians question whether this highway is truly about economic progress or if it's a move that compromises national security in favor of a divided future. The Kvisheti-Kobe Road is, without a doubt, one of Georgia's most ambitious infrastructure projects. It promises to transform transportation, improve trade, and offer a lifeline to isolated communities. But it also carries tremendous risks to Georgia's environment, heritage, and sovereignty. As the 2025 completion date approaches, tensions continue to mount. The highway might soon open a new gateway through the Caucasus, but it also opens a deeper debate. Who truly benefits from this project, the people of Georgia, or the powerful nations shaping its future? The answer, for now, remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: this road is leading Georgia into uncharted territory.